So it makes a big sense in the Buddha teaching, what Buddha said. The essence of Buddha's teaching, the foundation, the Vajjiya meditation, do not commit any unwholesome action, engage in perfect wholesome action, and subdue one's mind. This is teaching the Buddha. Subdue one's mind. After the two verses, then subdue one's mind. This is teaching of the Buddha. It's advice or the sensual advice or the in our everyday life, best meditation, best practice that's the best everything. Subdue one's mind. This is teaching the Buddha. So you see, the mind, you don't take care of your mind, you don't take care of your life. So mind never take care of, mind left with the chronic disease from not the chronic disease of not this life, chronic disease of the past life from beginningless rebirth. So this self-cherishing thought and the three portions of mind, ignorance, anger, attachment, just the essence mentioned. All from beginningless rebirth, chronic disease of the mind. So didn't take care of the mind. You don't look after your mind. And externally, whatever you do, whatever you change, so that's, you never take care of your mind, and mind let out untouched to that, you see, the sick mind, the troubled mind. From the beginningless birth, never take care, and that means your life. So then any external change, see, not real Dharma, not real Buddhism. That's not real. That's not real spiritual. Even by using general terms, spiritualism is not spiritualism. It's not Dharma. It's not holy Dharma. Yes, it can be a holy Dharma, but yes, but not holy Dharma. It's not Buddha's teaching. So like that. See that it has great meaning it carries. Unbelievable important what it carries meaning. The outside change colors, dress, or shapes of hairs, or cut hairs, or grow long hair, or whatever. So you don't take care of your life, your mind. You see, then the confusion, suffering in the life is always there, one after another. You become more educated. Not only just general education, but even Buddhism, even you become expert. More than 100 volumes, Tibetan texts, whether big like this, long like this, so like that, more than 100 volumes, Buddha's teachings, Ganjuru. That was translated, Ganjuru translated by the ancient great holy beings, translators. They are great holy beings. Bodhisattvas, renounced cherishing the I, and only generated, transformed into bodhicitta, generating every single numberless, every single sentient beings, numberless helpings, numberless hunger gods, numberless animals, numberless human beings, numberless sura beings, numberless asura beings, and then beings. There are numberless universe, not only this world, this universe. There are numberless universe. So we generated, wow, it's unbelievable. Holy mind, bodhicitta. Oh, that's a great bodhisattva. That. Not only intellectually educated, but they realized. So the great translators, so the translated from Sanskrit, from Pali, whatever Sanskrit. So that is that. Let's see. Then you see more than 200 volumes, commentaries to the Buddhist teaching by ancient, those extremely learned, actualized path to enlightenment, for the Buddhahood, the austere omniscience, who actualized, and those Nalanda, India, Nalanda, that great monastery, university, and so. So many of the pandits, those great pandits, holy beings, then made commentary. So many of those, they made commentary, more than 20. Even you know by heart, and can explain by heart to the people. Even you are expert like that. But you never lose your life, you never take care of your life, you never take care of your mind. You see? Then really doesn't become Buddhism. Even you are expert to explain Sutra, Tantra by heart, root text, commentaries, like that. The persons explaining the action does not become Buddhism. So that. So, we see a person subdued mind and recite Omane Peme Hum. We see subdued mind. You see, recite Omane Peme Hum against with bodhicitta, with the ultimate holy mind, bodhicitta, remedy to the self-cherishing thought, chronic disease from beginningless birth of self-cherishing thought. So that brings all the problems, misfortune, everything, black magic, everything, all the problems, everything. So, every single depression, abuse, whatever, whole thing, diarrhea, headache, toothache, whatever, is a curable disease, uncurable disease. From this selfish mind, self-cherishing thought, and then so much of the problems, the tree, from that, first of all, pure root, then from there, 10, 100 roots, more roots increase, like that, from the attachment to attachment, clinging, grasping, clinging this life, the pleasure of this life, which is nature of suffering. So from there, you see, so many problems, 100,000, then you never take care of your mind. your life. Even though you're expert in Buddhism, I can explain philosophy, I learned the philosophy so well. But you never take care of your mind, you never take care of your life. Even develop more attachment than before when you don't know Dharma. More anger, more pride developed more than before you met Dharma. Even like that. Before you didn't that much, but after so much become learned, educated, you know this and that, all that, so much developed pride and so more anger, so that so forth all the time. So instead of problem of life, instead of mind become more healthy, more healthy, more peaceful, less attachment, less anger, less ignorance, less self-cherishing. This is just without related. Just is the foundation. Instead of that, then more, you see, than before you know Dharma, before you learn Dharma. So, like this. So, like that, you see. So that means, you see, we didn't practice. You learn, you intellectually you learned the words, but you didn't practice. So that's very clear. You didn't practice, so you don't achieve happiness. Don't practice, so you don't achieve happiness. You don't get happiness. Happiness happens. Happiness, you see, by subduing the mind, taking care of the mind, taking care of your life, then less self-cherishing thought, becomes less attachment, less anger, less ignorance, pride, so forth. So more happiness. So therefore, more peace, more happiness. More renunciation, more contentment. Mind becomes more contentment, more satisfactory. You see, so you see the more happiness, more inner happiness, peace inside. So like that. You see, even just use a simple example. More patience, less anger, more patience. So more happiness, more inner happiness, more compassion, more loving kindness, more compassion. Of course, then there's more happiness, more inner peace, happiness. Your mind becomes more healthy. Then your life becomes more healthy, more positive. Then so that like that you see. So that so that. So that's So that becomes the practice of Buddhism, Buddha's teachings. That's right. So, then there's a basis relying on the omniscient one, not ignorant one, omniscient one whom you rely on. Who can guide you? Who has a perfect quality to guide you? See, from now on up to Buddhahood, up to enlightenment, guide you, will bring you there with perfect quality to reveal the whole path to enlightenment, guide you there. So, and then, so the reliable Dharma, reliable Sangha. So anyway, so and basically, everything came from the mind. Your samsara comes from your mind. Your nirvana, ultimate happiness, beliefs state of peace, nirvana come from your mind. Your enlightenment came from your mind. Your health came from your mind. So every day your problem came from your mind. Every day your happiness came from your mind. So why Buddha say subdue one's mind? Why the emphasize? Emphasize is subdue one's mind. This is teaching that. So subdue. Why Buddha says to take care of your mind, to take care of your life, to take care of your mind. Subdue one's mind. Oh, that's all like this. The huge reason. The whole everything came, all the suffering came from your mind. So all the happiness, all the suffering didn't come from outside. It came from your mind. It looked like when you don't examine, look like when our mind is hallucinated, look like coming from outside. No, it's come from your mind. Looks like coming from outside, but if you check, it's come from your mind. Same thing, happiness comes from your mind, not from outside.